So Nintendo sent out a cease and desist to the Big House Online. Apparently, Nintendo is saying that the Big House is illegally using their IP, saying that they have quote unquote been using piracy and using a mod, which we know is Project Slippy. In this time of quarantine, the online factor of the game was really keeping the scene alive. So, how do you guys feel about this? Nintendo sending out this cease and desist, stopping all tournaments, and they're saying that they really, care about the fighting game community, but it's kind of hard to tell with this. So, how do you guys feel about it? We'll start with the one and only One Punch Man. I mean, Mr. Game and Live.
I don't know. It's a very interesting topic, and you made a good point about now with things like everybody at home, quarantine and stuff like that. Online gaming competition has become like bigger than it's ever been for the most part. You look at stuff like other fighting games. I like Marvel in particular is I think being kept alive because of Parsec online, which people can play, and it's like a much more solid connection. So I'm just thinking like if somebody has made something that can allow people to play online more efficiently during this time where people are at home, like why would this not be a good thing? I don't know, Nintendo. It's hard to please Nintendo. Like Nintendo has been like for Smash and Melee to have done so much for the like Nintendo. It's like they just don't like we don't care. Like yeah, we know this is probably one of our biggest games. People brought this game back to come back at Evo, even when new Smash Brothers games were made, and Nintendo was like, nah, we don't care. So that it's like it shows you like Nintendo is like they may say they care, but it's like and again it's a business. Obviously, you understand that, but it's like again the reason these people playing this game and these competitions and these like tournaments are the reason why you all are being successful, especially with Smash Brothers, probably one of the biggest IPs. So I don't know, Nintendo, man, like they say, the Nintendo Ninjas, whatever they call them, I feel like they're real, man. It's like you do anything outside of any like standard way of what Nintendo wants you to do, they're like, look, we don't care. It's like, but this is allowing us to, play tournaments online and have people compete. We don't care about that. Y'all doing it our way or no way. So I just feel like it's Nintendo should maybe have a little more kindness. I don't know, a little more like leeway. Like, hey, you guys are supporting this game. You've been supporting it for years. Like, just leave those folks alone. But like I say, this Nintendo, man, it's hard to please Nintendo. I think out of any developer, any company, versus Sony versus Microsoft, Nintendo is the hardest to please. And this just further proves that.
Well, I got to tell you, first off, I got to say that I'm very disappointed in Nintendo, but I am not surprised. I mean, this is kind of a Nintendo MO at this point, like kind of with these cease and desist orders, and they're kind of it's very. I mean, like I said, it's disappointing but not surprising. Man. Melee has been surviving for a really long time, and it's mostly, well, not mostly, 100% due to the fact that the community continues to support it year in and year out. Like it's made so many. I mean, it was just recently that it wasn't even going to be at Evo, but I mean that was very recently that it wasn't going to be at Evo. Like every other. For like the longest time, for as long as anybody can remember, Melee has been at Evo. And I mean, it's kind of crazy that they would like say, oh, well, you know what, man, you can't do forget it. You kind of quoting considering like what Slippy did, I guess, piracy or whatever. Like, what is that? Like he's improving on your stuff. He's improving on what you did. And it's just another example of community support for a game that you made. And I don't know, like they got to have a little bit more compassion towards the community. I mean, like I think me and Octavian were talking about this a while ago. It's like, I don't know if I want to support you anymore. I don't know. I mean, after this, I probably won't be buying any more Smash Brothers games personally. I'm not doing it anymore. I don't see any point in supporting a company that's not going to support the efforts like like the efforts of someone in the community who's going out of their way to make your game better. It's not like sitting there being like, okay, now pay me, although you probably should. It's not like, oh well, you should pay me because I made your intellectual property better. It's just like, no, this is a labor of love. This was a labor of love to for everybody in the community, and it just seems ridiculous for them to do a cease and desist order now. And on the business side, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You know, it makes complete sense if you're a businessman, if you're somebody making money moves, then yeah, it makes sense. But as far as somebody who's looking at the community and saying, hey, what's the best thing for the community in this current era right now, in the age of COVID, what is the best era? Oh, you know what? Nah, man, you can't do those tournaments anymore. We're not doing that. Oh, you can just forget that even existed. Forget it. Like, get rid of it. I mean, is that really what you guys think is the best decision right now? Like Devin was saying, like, we're all like stuck inside, you know, trying to do what we can to not go crazy, not get cabin fever. And that's just one less thing that people can do. I tell you what, though, one less thing I'm going to be doing is playing Smash Bros. Ultimate. I'm not playing that game anymore. I refuse. I'm not buying any more DLC for that. I'm not supporting them anymore. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm done. I will not be buying any more Smash Brothers game because of that. You might call me, like, I might maybe be considered foolish. I don't care. I will not be playing Smash Brothers anymore because of that. I'm done, man.
You know, it's like, let me get this straight. It's like you make a game that you want us for the love. We end up loving it. And it's a game that we love so much and endear that we're making it last like this whole time. And you see like a community of people that a game that you made, like, you know, yeah, it might have been like years ago, probably coming up on 20 years since Melee was released, but we have a game that we love and we're still supporting it to this day. It's like it just shows like the impact that Nintendo has had on the community. And I just can't think of a reason why they would want to get rid of Melee. Like, why do you want to get rid of it so bad that during a pandemic that Slippy has done something to keep this game alive and keep people interested in it and stuff like that, keep the competitive scene of it going? You would hate it so bad that you would try to destroy it during the time that is needed the most. Like, I just, it's it's I mean, yeah, we get the business side of it. I mean, it's your game. You could do whatever you want to do, but I mean, just because it makes business sense doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. I mean, you can't even really say it makes business sense. I mean, it's not like it's taken away from Ultimate. If anything, if people came in and saw Melee, it would make them think like, man, what's the most recent Smash game we're playing and stuff like that. You know, it could help bring in the newcomer. You know, even though Smash is like, you know, I mean, they're basically the best-selling fighting game of all time, but still, it's more people to buy the game. I mean, there's some people who don't know who Smash is, so I just don't see. I don't get it. Like, you know, it's I don't get it. Period. Like, I'd like to know what reason that they have from their statement. They're just saying they can't support piracy and all that other stuff. But man, like, it's for a 20 something, I mean, almost 20 something year old game. Like, it's not like we're doing it for Ultimate. I mean, you basically took your hands off everything with Melee. You've moved on to other games at this point. So if we just take up the mantle from there and keep a game alive, that's something of yours. It does nothing but make you look that much better.